Hi. Module 1 is all about getting you comfortable with the technology that an online class relies on. And in order for you to get comfortable with an online class, you need to be comfortable with your TAs, or at least perhaps just meet them for the first time. So if you go to Module 1, what you'll see, and my cursor is going to hover over this, are instructions for signing up for your week 1 meetings with your TAs. These meetings will happen on Google Hangout, and this link will tell you what to do, where to go to Google Hangout, what Google Hangout is, how to sign up with a particular TA. Everything is revealed in that meeting. But if you need to know more about what Google Hangout discussion sections are going to be before you meet with your TA, right? If your TA meeting is at the end of the week and you're, on Monday dying of anxiety because you want to know what this is going to be about, scroll down and take a look at Google Hangout discussions. And you'll have a little bit more information on how to use Google Hangouts and what you need to know about using Google Hangouts. All right? Now, the other thing in week 1 is we want you to get comfortable with some of the ways in which assignments are going to run. In an online class, there aren't going to be in-class pop quizzes, right? Because there's no real, the in-class doesn't exist in a traditional way. But we've got quizzes, and we've designed a practice quiz, and I'm hovering the cursor over it here. Now, don't worry about it. This is not a quiz that counts towards anything, but it is a quiz that will help you understand how to operate in the next quizzes that do count towards your grade. So I urge you to take the quiz, if only to get comfortable with the methodology of the technology. It's also the topic of the practice quiz is the syllabus. So if you find yourself struggling to find the answers to the questions, then perhaps you might want to go take a look at the syllabus, and that one's here. Let me move my, oh dear. See, this is what happens. Let's go back to our home page and the modules. There we go. What I've just modeled for you is the fact that you can't really do anything wrong while moving through the website or the canvas, the learning management system. You just keep clicking until you find the page that you were at, and that's what I've just done. So anyway, perhaps a good moment to explain what these modules are. So since we're in an online class, and the online class takes 10 weeks, but the week doesn't really mean anything, because the point of an online class is that you can move through it not at any speed you want, but that you can make the sequencing in the class work with your schedule. So there are learning modules that you have to learn sequentially, but you can move through them at whatever speed is comfortable to you, as long as you stick to some deadlines. And the deadlines are clear in your calendar, they're clear in the assignments themselves. There are multiple ways in which you can find out what the assignments deadlines are, just by clicking on assignments and you'll see it, or clicking on quizzes and it'll tell you where the quizzes are and when they're due. But you can move through the learning material, the videos like this one, the readings, at the pace that is most comfortable to you. Every time you bump into something that you're not exactly sure what it means, you'll probably find the answers in this module 1, because everything is explained. So what is a historical source? I'll often refer to historical sources. You'll want to click on this link here. There's an assignment in week 8, or in module 8, see, I make the mistake myself, that relies on an online platform called Storify. Now what is it? Here you go, just click there. As historians, we always cite our sources, and I will expect you to cite your sources when you have writing assignments. The TAs will go over that as well, but it'll always be helpful to go back to these 2 files to find out how to cite, and perhaps also why historians cite. Again, this will be covered in discussion, but I think you'll be quite happy to find it replicated here. Now, the Google Hangout discussions are an important point for you to sort of internalize. It's an online class. Time flows somewhat differently online than it does in sort of physical time. I'm sure Einstein had something to say about that, but that's not the point of this class. Anyway, once you've met with your TAs in week 1, you will have a schedule for the next 4 discussion sections. And you heard me right, only 4 discussion sections. We have 10 learning modules, and you will be reviewing material that matters to these learning modules once every 2 weeks. Once every 2 weeks, not every week. So it's really important that you never miss a discussion section, and that you choose the schedule for the discussion section that really fits within your schedule and that you commit to it. And so this is where you'll find the topic for your discussion sections, and I'm hovering over it. And here are the 3 TA pages that you'll want to also familiarize yourself with, so that you know how to reach your TA once you've committed to the discussion sections with that TA, and so that you can find out what you'll be doing in that particular meeting. Other things that you'll be discussing in the discussion sections, and perhaps also in your first meeting, is the library assignment or the library project. If you look through the syllabus, you'll notice that we don't have a midterm, and that goes back to this notion that if we're not really operating in weeks, there's no point in having an exam in the middle of the term, because you might be reaching different points at different times. But what I want you to do is a sort of a long-term project that helps you use some of the skills and some of the knowledge that you're acquiring as you're moving through the modules. The TAs will explain and monitor and make sure that you're keeping up with the library project, which is a multitask project. It's not just one thing that has to be handed in at a particular date. It's multiple tasks. I think there's about 5 tasks that you need to complete, and the 6th one that is a bonus task. That is, in a sense, the second important grade. You've got a final and you've got the midterm, but your grade in this class is comprised of multiple things. And in order to succeed in them, you need to make sure that you go through Module 1 and understand the technological background, so that you're comfortable fulfilling the tasks, every one of them, and you do fantastic on this online class. All right? Anyway, there are multiple ways in which you can reach me.